Thank you everyone for joining us tonight before the Arctic blast. We'll start with roll call.
This is before the blast?
It gets worse, Al.
Here.
Sarda? Here. Burdick? Here. Gross? Here. Highbaum?
Here.
Minor?
Here.
Mosier?
Here.
Mayor Johnson?
Here.
City Manager Leone?
Here.
City Attorney Denberger?
Here.
You have before you the minutes from the regular meeting of January 14th, 2019. What is your pleasure?
Move approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Thank you very much. Next, you have before you the schedule of bills. What is your pleasure?
Move we pay the bills.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission about our scheduled bills? Roll call.
Highbaum?
Aye.
Minor?
Aye.
Mosier?
Aye.
Benson?
Aye.
Sarda?
Aye.
Burdick?
Aye.
Gross? Aye. Mayor Johnson?
Aye. Motion passes. City Manager's report.
Honorable Mayor, members of the Commission, our mission is to provide exemplary experiences, services, and spaces that create opportunities for everyone to learn, engage, and thrive. And as you all know, but for the public's benefit, we were together on Saturday to work on updating our strategic planning document, and staff is already working on the good input and feedback that you provided to us. And so next month we'll come back and have a draft of that for you all to consider and discuss before it's presented at a public meeting for your consideration for adoption. Also, I wanted to let everyone know that we're going through a website refresh. It's been 5 years now since we've updated the website, which hardly seems possible, but part of the package that you all purchased was to have a refresh every 5 years. So Dwayne will be leading us on getting that taken care of. That will be an ongoing process, which will take quite a bit of the year, but we will have a refresh on our city website. Tomorrow is Yankton Day at the legislature, so for those who are not afraid of the wind, they will put a sail on the city van and be heading up to Pier for Yankton Day at the legislature. And I don't know which way the wind's going, but one way will take very little gas and the other way was going to take a lot of gas. So safe travels to everyone heading up to Pier tomorrow. Also, as you know, the petitions are now available for anyone seeking to run for City Commission. You must return those by 5 p.m. on Friday, February 22nd, if you're interested in running for one of the 3 vacant positions. Congratulations to Officer Sam Bruning. She received an award at the Dancing with the Stars event on Saturday. She's an advocate and was recognized as being an advocate for our department and for those folks who need her in some of their maybe most vulnerable times. So if you see Officer Sam, thank her. She is a shining star in our department and very well deserving of that award. If there's any questions of me, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'll let you conduct your business.
Does the Commission have any questions of the City Manager? Thank you very much, Amy, for that report. Next on the agenda is public appearances. This is a time when the audience can address the Commission about items not on the agenda. If you have something, we ask that you step to the podium. Seeing no movement, we'll move on to the consent agenda. And that is consideration of memorandum 19-22, recommending approval of Warren Erickson to the Planning Commission Board. And that's the only consent agenda item tonight, believe it or not. What is your pleasure?
Move the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. Moving on to old business. Number 1 is second reading and public hearing regarding Ordinance 1015, amending the Garbage Ordinance, Chapter 10. What is your pleasure?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Amy, did you want to, or Adam, did you want to update the public again on what this is exactly?
Yes, good evening. This is a change in the entire Chapter 10 ordinance, which deals with garbage and trash. And with the changes since 2016, with the implementation of the roll cart collection system and changes at the transfer station with the after-hours yard waste and just other items out there, we took a look at the ordinance and with Attorney Denherter, and we got into it and decided the entire chapter needed a rewrite because there was terms in there referring to when Yankton was still a landfill, and it's just updating the garbage ordinance to the operations as they are today.
Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Yes, Ed, please step to the podium.
My name is Edward Gleich. What are we asking nowadays? What are the new improved rules? You said we can do something. What are we doing wrong and what are we doing right?
With the garbage collection, with the solid waste collection?
Well, it's garbage. It could be from the grass. It could be from the recycle bin or from the garbage bins. What are we doing right or what are we doing wrong?
So you're asking what is the public doing right and wrong as far as disposal?
Well, I mean, we're doing something wrong, and then that's what we're up here now for. This.
Well, our ordinance was outdated, so our ordinance referred to the language that was appropriate when we didn't have the roll cart system, and when we allowed different sizes. Our sizes were more limited than they are now. So what City Attorney Denherter and Mr. Haberman have done is update the language consistent with how we're actually collecting now. So our ordinance wasn't matching what we were actually doing. We gave it a little bit of time because we wanted to make sure that we knew our system well enough and got used to our system. So this ordinance, for example, indicates that, you know, each citizen's given the roll cart and they're responsible to take it out on their given day, etc.
Basically, I can read between the lines, but some people want it's more than I am. So you got to bring it out and print it out on the paper. What it does and don't and not.
Sure, we could sure do that to give everybody a reminder of the things you can and cannot put in the cart and what you're supposed to do on your actual day, and let people know that their cart is assigned to their home and they're responsible for it. Sure, we can do that. That'd be helpful to folks.
We're doing something wrong. That why you're bringing it up.
Well, we're just updating our ordinance so it matches what everyone should be doing, but a good reminder for everyone is available. So we'll put something in the paper and call it trash talk or something like that.
You got to update people. You got to update people because
Yeah.
you know, they're not smarter than I am.
Good idea. Good idea.
Thank you, Ed. Is there any more public input on this item? Roll call.
Minor,
Aye.
Moser,
Aye.
Benson,
Aye.
Sarda,
Aye.
Burdick.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Ibom,
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Number 2 under old business is the second reading and public hearing regarding ordinance 1016, which amends the Jake breaking Chapter 14, Article 213. What is your pleasure?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Adam, again, can you explain to the public what this is?
This is a change in the ordinance pertaining to engine compression brakes. Currently, the DOT, the South Dakota Department of Transportation, maintains signs on all the state routes coming into Yankton that say dynamic engine braking prohibited or Jake braking prohibited. And with changes in technology in the trucks and the vehicles that use engine compression braking, they want this, if they replace the signs, they're going to replace them with unmuffled dynamic engine braking prohibited. So it's just a change in the term using unmuffled dynamic engine braking. And in order for them to maintain the signs, we need to have it in our ordinance that way.
Is there any commission discussion on this item? Thank you, by the way, Adam.
You're welcome.
Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? All right, roll call.
Moser,
Aye.
Benson,
Aye.
Sarda,
Aye.
Burdick.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Number 3 under old business is the second reading and public hearing regarding ordinance number 1017, amending the snow emergency route ordinance, chapter 21. What is your pleasure?
Move the change.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Adam, once again, can you explain this change to us?
Yes, so this pertains to 2 stretches of road in Yankton. West City Limits Road from 9th to 31st was annexed in last year, and we thought it'd be time to add it to the emergency snow route list. So this changes the ordinance to reflect that, West City Limits Road from 9th to 31st, as well as Atkins Drive from Abbott to 31st Street, which is out in Fox Run on the northwest corner of Yankton. It's a major ingress and egress to that development, so we thought it'd be appropriate to add that to the list as well.
Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Benson,
Aye.
Sarda,
Aye.
Burdick.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Number 4 under old business is consideration of memorandum 19-10 regarding the public hearing on the request for a special events malt beverage on-sale retailer's license and a special retail on-sale wine dealer's license for February 2nd, 2019 from 6th Meridian LLC, doing business as Counterfeit Catering, and this would be at the NFAA headquarters. What is your pleasure?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Sarda,
Aye.
Burdick.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Number 5 under old business is consideration of memorandum 19-11 regarding the public hearing on the request for a special events malt beverage on sale retailer's license and a special retail on sale wine dealer's license for February 23rd, 2019 from 6th Meridian LLC, doing business as Counterfeit Catering. And once again, this is at the NFAA headquarters. What is your pleasure?
I'll move the memorandum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Burdick.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Number 6 under old business is consideration of memorandum 19-12 regarding the public hearing on the request for a new retail on-off sale malt beverage license for July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019 from the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks Lodge 994 at 504 West 27th Street. What is your pleasure?
I move the memorandum.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Mybom. Aye. Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Burdick.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Number 7 under old business is consideration of memorandum 19-13 regarding the public hearing on the transfer of ownership and location of a retail on-off sale malt beverage license for July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019 from To Be Free LLC, Courtney Villalobos as president, doing business as RB Beer and Burgers at 2901 Broadway Avenue, to Diggers Inc., which is Larry Olson, president, doing business as Gold Rush at 2020 Elm Street. What is your pleasure?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Burdick.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Number 8 under old business is consideration of memorandum 19-14 regarding the public hearing on the request for a new retail on-off sale malt beverage license for July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019 from To Be Free LLC, which is RB Beer and Burgers at 2901 Broadway in Yankton. What is your pleasure?
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Burdick.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Finally, number 9 under old business is consideration of memorandum 19-15 regarding the public hearing on the request for a special events retail on-sale liquor license for February 16th, 2019, with March 2nd, 2019 as a rain date from Boomers, Inc., Gary Boom, President, doing business as Boomers Lounge, and this would be at the NFAA headquarters. What is your pleasure?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item?
I would just like to note that I think it's optimistic to call it a rain date in February.
Fair point. Any more commission discussion? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Burdick.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Motion passes. On to new business. Number 1 is consideration of memorandum 19-17 regarding resolution 19-04, which is a replat of the north 1/4. Sorry guys, I don't know a short way to do this one. Lot 13, lot 14, except for the west 1/6 of the north 8 feet thereof, and the south 5 feet of the east 5/6 of lot 15, all in block 12, in that part of the city of Yankton platted and known as Todd's Yankton, hereafter to be known as Lot 14A, Block 12, in that part of the city of Yankton platted and known as Todd's Yankton. And the address for that is 207 Walnut Street. The owners are Riverfront Partners, LLC. What is your pleasure?
I move the memorandum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item?
Do we know what they're trying to do, other than, it looks like they're just taking some parking out of a parking lot.
Correct. They're dividing a parcel in our B3 Central Business District in a matter that's in conformance with our ordinance. It leaves both remaining parts of the parcel in such a position that they conform with code. So they don't necessarily have to tell us what they're doing with the subdivision. It meets all of our requirements.
So could they be putting up a barrier or anything like that?
I have not heard anything about barriers or construction at this point.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Speck, could you enlighten us on this?
Yeah, Dan Speck with Vision Real Estate. It's not for a rain date or anything. They've actually sold their building, or are in the process of selling it, and going to keep that as an extra lot, a separate lot. So it's the old Eisenbron Stockwell building, if that answers that question.
Thank you very much. Is there any more commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Burdick.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Number 2 under new business is consideration of memorandum 19-18 in support of resolution 19-05 regarding rural electric cooperatives. What is your pleasure?
So move the memorandum.
City Manager Leon, can you explain this one to the public, please?
Sure. If folks are following what's happening in Pierre, the rural electric cooperatives are planning to bring legislation forward that would prevent a city's utilities, in this case happens to be electric utilities, from growing along with their city boundaries. So under current law, when a municipality has an electric utility and the city grows, so somebody annexes property, the municipality has the option of buying out that service territory of that entity that currently providing electricity, which would be the rural electric utility. These laws have been in place with very little problems over the past 40 years, and as it stands now, the rural electric cooperatives want to stop the municipality's right to grow and develop their utility service along with their boundaries by requiring that, or by indicating that they would still have the right to serve those customers, even though they'd be annexed into a municipality. The South Dakota Municipal League is asking all cities, even if you don't have a municipal electric, as you know we do not, that we join and oppose any legislation that would prohibit cities to further their own utility services as their city grows. So my recommend the nation is to adopt the resolution and statement relating to the benefits of a municipal utility and growing the city boundary with your city utilities. Happy to answer questions.
Is there any commission discussion? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Sarda.
Aye.
Fertig.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Number 3 under new business is the introduction and first reading of ordinance number 1018 and establishing it establishes February 11th, 2019 as the date for the second reading and public hearing regarding the first supplement to the 2019 annual appropriation, which is ordinance number 1011. What is your pleasure?
Introduce.
Thank you very much. Number 4 under new business is consideration of memorandum 19-20 regarding camping in Riverside Park during the RASDAC event on May 31st, 2019 and June 8th, 2019. What is your pleasure?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Fertig.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Number 5 under new business is consideration of memorandum 19-21 and resolution 19-07 regarding a request to apply for a grant from the South Dakota Arts Council on behalf of the Meridian District Art Project. What is your pleasure?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Fertig.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. Number 6 under new business is consideration of memorandum 19-23 and resolution 19-06 regarding a salary correction for the city attorney. What is your pleasure?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Amy, can you tell the public what we're doing here?
Yes, so we made an error, the first one of the year, so in the salary adjustment for Mr. Denherter, so we need to correct that error so the amount is accurately reflects what we're going to be paying. So the correct amount is $46,061.13. And I believe that we were under a little bit with the math when we provided it to you last time.
Any more commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Fertig.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, motion passes. That exhausts the regular agenda for tonight's meeting. I would ask for a motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss contractual, litigation, and personnel matters under South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Thank you.